Superintendentfrank.com.
A new study from the CDC finds Americans' life expectancy rose in 2023 to the highest level since the COVID-19 pandemic. But ABC's Jim Ryan reports it's not across the country.
In some southern states, according to the CDC, life expectancy changed very little after the pandemic. The authors blame differences in public health policies among individual states for regional discrepancies. In California, an early adopter of anti-smoking policies, people are living longer than in Kentucky, a state that was slower to discourage tobacco use.
The family of a reality TV star is raising questions about a member they say was suffering mental health crises when he was killed by police in Orange County, California.
You okay?
45-year-old Jeffrey Sterling was a brother of Lydia McLaughlin. She appeared on multiple seasons of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Sterling was pulled over on his motorcycle last month in Newport Beach. In newly released body-worn and dash camera audio, he refused to comply with the officer, attacked the officer, and in a fight, allegedly removed the officer's taser. Police say he pointed it toward the officer and then was shot and killed.
Stop it!
Sterling's family now says it will be suing Newport Beach police, citing serious concerns about the officer's actions. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The Republican-led House has passed a bill permanently renaming the Gulf of America. The bill would codify President Trump's executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico. That bill now goes to the Senate. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1
5:05
FM.
and with your KPNU News update on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, I'm Will Feelright. Well, a large gas leak caused the closure of SR 30 Valley View Highway for almost 2 hours earlier today. The closure was between 10th West and Gateway Drive. Logan City Police Chief Jeff Simmons said preliminary information indicates a construction crew working on the road struck the gas line at around noon. As a precaution, Logan City Police and firefighters set up a perimeter around the gas leak. Traffic was detoured around the area for almost 2 hours while crews repaired the damaged gas line. Now, the road was reopened just before 2. Simmons said that there were no reports of any injuries or property damage. Meanwhile, a Utah law that once protected undocumented immigrants from automatic deportation after misdemeanor convictions is now officially coming to an end. HB 226, which was sponsored by Representative Candice Periucci, went into effect yesterday. Now, the bill raises the maximum jail sentence for Class A misdemeanors from 364 days to 365. That's a change that will have major implications under federal immigration law. Now, federal policy mandates deportation proceedings if a non-citizen is sentenced to a year or more in jail. Now, Utah's previous 364-day cap, passed back in 2019, had been a deliberate effort to try to keep those convicted of lower-level offenses from triggering that threshold. Now, the original law was backed by former Representative Eric Hutchins with the goal of minimizing deportations for nonviolent misdemeanors. Now, Senator Daniel Thatcher, a co-sponsor of that law, voted against the repeal this year, along with Senator Todd Weiler and all Senate Democrats. While the updated law does not require longer jail sentences, it does give judges the ability to impose up to a full year for Class A misdemeanors, potentially triggering deportation for undocumented individuals. And artificial intelligence is growing in Utah. From government policy to education, AI is finding its way into all aspects of life. Now, one Utah entrepreneur used AI to reportedly build himself a six-figure business in just a few days. John Chaney woke up one day and decided to challenge himself to build a profitable business in a day. And it took him a day or two longer than that, but he said he was able to get Gen AI PI up and running and now has a paying contract. in just a few days. Cheney said that AI is going to impact just about every industry, so he created a way for businesses to check how much their employees know about AI and then teaches them how to use it. He said it took him about 5 days from coming up with Gen AI PI to begin making a profit. Cheney likes to create, whether it be music or business, but an award-winning business like his last one took nearly a decade and $1 million to build. Well, beautiful afternoon as temperatures are going to stay right around the low 70s for our high today, and now tonight we'll drop into the low 50s and then be back into the high 70s for tomorrow. Low 80s coming on Saturday. Clear skies are expected to continue through about Saturday afternoon. Then storms are going to start to come in with some clouds, and that's going to bring a possibility of some showers for Mother's Day, and then more showers and thunderstorms possible for next week. And news and weather this hour brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Whether it's a car, truck, or lawnmower, side by side, if it runs on an engine, then Napa Auto Parts has the parts to fix it. At any of their 5 locally owned locations, from Preston to Providence, it's Napa Auto Parts. We'll have another check of local news coming up at the bottom of the hour. I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU News headlines.
Today's hearing aid technology can improve not only your life, but the lives of the people who care about you. Once again, you'll be able to hear the reason for their laughter and understand conversations. Dr. Paul Danes at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology will customize a hearing improvement program to meet your unique requirements, whatever they are. Call Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology for an appointment and let them show you how.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Where news and talk comes first. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Struggling to find the perfect Mother's Day gift? Skip the sweets and the short-lived gifts. Give her something that lasts. Head to Anderson's Seed and Garden in Logan. From vibrant annuals and blooming baskets to veggie plants and fruit or shade trees, there's something that she'll love and enjoy for years. Need advice? Just ask Mark. Make gift-giving easy this Mother's Day at Anderson's Seed and Garden. 69 West Center, Logan. Anderson's Seed and Garden. Beautifying backyards and making moms smile.
Treat your mom to the very best this Mother's Day. The Elements Restaurant's delicious brunch buffet, complete with roasted New York loin, slow-roasted turkey carvings, almond-encrusted salmon, deep-fried shrimp, fried chicken, and more. Along with breakfast options including made-to-order omelets, hot pancakes with maple or coconut syrup, sausage, bacon, crepes, and many more delicious dishes, including a full dessert bar. Because she's special. Treat mom to extraordinary. Mother's Day brunch from Elements, Sunday, May 11th from 11 a.m. till 2. For reservations, please call 750-5151. That's 750-5151.
This is Dr. Red, chiropractic physician with Red River Health and Wellness. Are you suffering with fatigue, brain fog, headaches, intestinal issues, weight gain, and you haven't been able to find any answers?
Before I started at Red River, I was having a lot of stomach pain. I was overweight, severe anxiety, some depression. I had been to multiple doctors. I'd been to specialists. We had done tests, and no one could find anything that was wrong.
Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
I'm on anxiety medicine. I've lowered my dose, and I'm working with my doctor to continue to lower it. I'm sleeping through the night. I have energy for my kids. I've lost 30 pounds. I just feel really good.
Our goal is to teach you and educate you so you know how to manage your condition a lot more effectively, and you know what to do and what not to do for the rest of your life.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today. Pulling me further than I've been before, making me stronger, shaking me right to the core. Oh, I don't know what's in the stars, never heard it from.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. I'm really excited about this. It is our chance to check in our monthly spotlight on the Logan School District with our good friend, Superintendent of Logan Schools, Frank Schofield. And every month, Frank brings friends with him into the studio. I'm never sure if it's willingly or with threats of some sort of write-up or unpleasant lunch menu, whatever it is. Somehow he gets them in here But he brought students with him this week, and I love this. We have Kevin Chevez and Benji Porras. Did I say that right? Okay. So, sorry. Let me turn your mics on. That part I'm still working on. I'm new. But Kevin and Benji, thank you for joining us. And Frank, if you can, tell listeners what the plan for the discussion here is today.
Yeah, so, at the end of the year in schools is all about celebrations. We're recognizing, what students have accomplished, everything they've done. We've got some really cool things happening at Logan High. I mean, if you look at, spring sports are not quite over, but they're getting there. And we've got some teams that are doing really great. Our girls softball team is actually playing tonight, and they've got a chance to do really well. This year, when you look at our academic all-state students, these are the students who got a 4.0 during an athletic season. Logan High School has the second highest number of academic all-states in 4A across the state of Utah. We had 2 students get perfect scores on the ACT this year.
Wow.
We've just got a number of really phenomenal things. And it comes down to the students and the work that they put into it and the energy that they dedicate to really making their high school experience a positive one. So these 2 gentlemen have done exactly that. They're both members of our student body officers. Benji is the student body president, and Kevin, I'm going to say this wrong again. You say it.
I'm the outreach executive.
Outreach executive.
Outreach
Thank
executive?
you.
Is that? That sounds pretty fancy.
He's got very specific responsibilities. But what they've done, and student government is just one example of it. They do a lot of things to be actively engaged and really set themselves up for a positive future after high school. But they play a role as in student government in promoting the type of environment and the culture at Logan High School that helps students feel connected. And when people feel connected, they're more engaged and they're more successful. So a lot of the success that you see at a high school and that we see at Logan High, there is an element of that is driven by our student government and the student body officers. So these 2, I invited them to come so they could talk a little bit about that, their experience as students at Logan High, their experience as leaders as Logan High, or at Logan High, and kind of share a little bit about what they feel makes that Logan High experience special, what makes it unique, and how they've been able to contribute to it. And also talk a little bit about their future, because they both got plans.
I'm excited to hear the plans. That is, maybe start us off a little bit. So no one ends up in either of these roles by accident, right? I mean, this takes some goal setting. And so what interested you in let me back up a little bit. I'm just going to go home. You guys take it from here. I've lost the ability to speak. What interested you in becoming, a leader within the school? Because, let's be honest, it's easy enough just to have a decent GPA and just kind of sit back and write it out, right? Right. And you both decided to take on a little more than that.
Yeah, okay, so a little bit about me. I have 13 siblings, and
wow.
So I'm the youngest of 13. And so all throughout growing up, all my older brothers were, involved in student government, and so I've had, 2 brothers that were student body president. I've had, they were all just in numerous positions, and so in 4th grade, I decided to run for student council just because my other siblings were doing it. And so this role of student body president has always been in my mind since the 4th grade. And so ever since the 4th grade, I did it 5th grade. Couldn't do it 6th grade because they didn't have that offer at my school. 7th grade decided to do it. Then I moved here in 8th grade. Didn't know enough people to do it freshman year. And then freshman year, I decided to run for sophomore class president, and then the next year junior class president, and then finally I achieved my goal of reaching student body president. So yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
So you've been running for office since you were 10?
About I think so, 10 or 11.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is very cool. Are you? Well, we'll hold that. We'll hold that till we get to talking about the goals beyond high school part. Politician, though, I can see it. I see you can run for office.
We'll see.
What about you? What drew you to it?
Well, I've always been really outgoing. I started in 6th grade as the president of our school, elementary school. Then 7th and 8th grade, I was the vice president. Then I moved here from California sophomore year, and I didn't really know anyone. So
sure.
I didn't really run. But I guess I wanted to put myself out there. So then junior year, I ran for junior secretary. I was like for the class. And then my senior year, I became the outreach executive. And I mean, yeah. Trying to make friends and stuff like that. Yeah.
That is outreach executive. What does that entail?
Well, for like student body officers, we each have like a role. So like Benji, he's the president, Milo, the vice president, Sam, the historian, and then there's 6, right? Yeah, there's 6 people who have like a part that they intake in. So I have outreach. There's academics, sports, treasurer.
Yeah, there's activities and clubs.
Service, yeah. So I wanted to do outreach just because I don't know, involving myself with other people or getting them involved.
Okay.
So then, yeah, that's why I got it.
That is very cool. This is an opportunity again to kind of go behind the scenes. Speaking with, let me make sure I get the titles right here. Student body president, I've got that down. Student body president Benji Porras and outreach executive. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Chevez, and of course, Superintendent of Logan Schools, Frank Schofield, here in the studio with us as well. Our spotlight with Logan Schools continues right after this.
For 100 years, we've fueled adventure without limits. And at Murdoch Volkswagen, the journey has only just begun. It's time to chase your next adventure, from epic road trips to daily drives. Right now, receive 2.9% for 60 months on the Atlas or Atlas Cross Sport. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family at Murdoch Volkswagen in Logan or online at murdochvw.com.
Call 888-391-6083 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 6/2/2025.
Celebrate mom with a piece of jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. With the purchase of $149 or more, receive dinner for 2 and a spring bouquet of flowers. Surprise mom with diamonds. Choose from a large selection of diamond rings, diamond pendants, or diamond earrings. Remember, with our trade-up program, you're able to exchange her diamond earrings for earrings of greater value. Adorned in diamond earrings, she'll feel elegant and appreciated. Remember dinner for 2 and flowers with the purchase of $149 or more. For those occasions and people that matter most. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Building a home is one of life's biggest investments. You want it done the right way, the honest way. Edson Builders has teamed up with innovative home finishes, 2 of Cache Valley's best, to give you a better home building experience. No cookie cutter designs, no cutting corners, just exceptional homes built exactly the way you want. And right now, you may qualify for a $20,000 first-time home builder incentive. Call 232-2680. That's 232-2680, or visit edsonbuilders.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. I'm Jason Williams, joined in the studio for our monthly Logan Schools Spotlight. Superintendent of the Logan School District, Frank Schofield. And with him, we have Kevin Chevez, Outreach Executive, and Benji Porras, Student Body President, both in leadership and as they make their way through the Logan School system. And as you've heard, or if you were just tuning in, you missed, both of them explaining this is something they've kind of done for a long while, dating back to grade school, even running for various leadership positions. And that's pretty inspiring to do because, again, high school, for example, can be tough enough for anybody, just the classes and the schoolwork and the grades. But then throwing this on top of it, it's really cool to see and honestly inspiring a bit, I think, for a lot of people to hear. Do you have... Are there sometimes when you think, I wish I could just go to class and go home? And what keeps you going?
Honestly, just the people. I think Logan is like so diverse, and I feel like talking to a lot of other students at other schools, they feel like their like school environment is like very toxic, and I feel the opposite. And so I just think that the students like encourage me to like go to school and just like being able to like talk to my friends that I wouldn't see otherwise is, yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and for you, Kevin, what keeps you going?
The feedback. Me and Benji were pretty creative. We do like weeks, right? And we like to go all out. So let's say last year's what was it called? Beach Week. We did like this whole like beach background in the front wall, and it looked like we were at the beach.
That's very cool.
And yeah, we do this like volleyball tournament, and we like, I don't know, it looks so cool, and everybody loved it. And then for Christmas, we put like Christmas lights all over the lobby. We built this like giant Christmas present saying like Happy Holidays and stuff like that, and everybody loved it. So you don't see the other schools, you know. So I don't know. I feel like that keeps me going because like we're like different in a way, you know.
Sure.
Which I don't know, people like it, and we enjoy doing it. So.
That is, Frank. Maybe you can speak to this, Kevin and Benji as well, if you want to chime in. But this is, I'm just thinking, Frank. This is, as we've had students in over the last year. This is the third, maybe fourth time that I've heard the words, or at least similar sentiment towards the words inclusive and diverse, and people feeling, less toxic environment that you might find at other schools. What is it? What's happening right here to make this? Because again, this is different sets of students that have come in and used those same words, and I feel like that's worth pausing for a second and noting.
I'll start with
because that's important.
It's one of the things that I love the most about Logan High, and I taught at Logan High. I love Logan High on a lot of levels, but this is one of the things I love about it. And part of it is we have a high percentage of students who come from all over the place. I mean, you just hear it right now. Even these two gentlemen, moved here to Logan from other places. We have a high percentage of kids who have come from other countries, with families seeking better lives. We have a number of kids whose families are refugees.
Sure.
So that we have a lot of students who have come from all around, and this is the place where they come together. And Logan High, the chance to be multiple years in a single place with a consistent group of people and have that relationship that gets built out of that.
Sure.
There's power behind that. There's real power behind it. And when you have a bunch of people who come together with that shared experience of, hey, I'm not quote unquote from here, but I choose to be here, that creates some unique opportunities to build connections and to come together and have shared experiences. And that's what our students do. They come together and they're willing to do that. You watch students walk down the halls at Logan High, or you watch the cafeteria. You stand up on the second level and kind of look down at the cafeteria and see who's together, or you look at who's doing activities together, who's in student government, who's in the musical together, who's on these athletic teams together, who's going to these different clubs, who's on the debate team together. And you get this incredibly diverse group of students that are all choosing to come together. And I think at the core, that's what it is. You have a group of people who aren't here just because, well, this is where I've lived my entire life. It's where my parents lived. It's where my grandparents lived, et cetera. And there's value to that, too. That's how you get tradition and some of these really cool things that Logan High's had for decades.
Sure.
But you also have a group of kids who come together, a group of students, young people who say, this is where I am choosing to be, and I'm going to invest in making that a positive thing. And that's one of the things that impresses me about Kevin and Benji and our other student body officers is that's how they live their high school experience. They choose to be here, and they choose to make it a positive thing for themselves and for others.
And that's such an interesting choice, too, because the moving here from out of state, for example, at that age is every excuse. No one would even think twice about you just kind of, settling into the background a little bit, just go to class, get your grades, graduate. And you've both done the opposite. You've put yourself out in the spotlight in these ways. And as you've explained, it's a fulfilling thing to do, but it's a very unique choice. That's very cool. And it does speak to a culture at Logan High that, I'm not going to point fingers at any other schools, but I do know it's probably different to some extent than what's happening in a lot of other high schools. And so thank you, Frank, for expanding on that a little bit. Do either of you have anything to add to that culture in general, a culture that feels inclusive at Logan High?
I would probably say a lot of that just comes from, like, the empathy that the students have, just because, like, there's so many students that come from different backgrounds. Like, it's very hard to, like, run into someone that, like, doesn't have, like, something hard going on into their lives. And so just, like, that empathy that we have for other students is just, like, impacted us for the greater. So, yeah.
Okay. That is, and before he gets here, do you want to say anything bad about Milo?
No,
can.
He's great. We love him.
He can't hear us yet. He doesn't have the headphones on, so. we had, that's okay. Someone got a bit delayed and is just joining us, but it still works out perfect timing. And appreciate all of you, taking the time to do this. Do you have? We'll get to Milo after the news, but for you, Benji or Kevin, do you have anyone out there listening right now that? Most likely, it's going to be a parent listening right now, but maybe they've got kids close to your age, a little younger, and they want to maybe inspire them to get involved with this kind of thing. What would you say to those parents? What's going to scare somebody off or encourage somebody to try what you've tried?
I think putting yourself out there would, like, help you and other people become friends, Like, if you don't have friends, then, I don't know. Put yourself out there, and then you'll become friends with somebody that might be going through the same thing as you, I don't know. That's kind of what I did. I put myself out there because I didn't have any friends, and now I'm here. So, I don't know.
That is very cool.
Oh.
Anything, thoughts of yours?
Probably, like, try to, like, challenge yourself as well, because I feel like someone's like, oh, like, I want to do the sport, but it's really hard, but it's like, it's not going to be easy. Like, there is definitely going to be some, like, trial and error, and so just, like, reaching for, like, a goal is also, like, good to have in mind. So, yeah.
That's very cool. All right. Here in the studio with us again, we have Superintendent of Logan Schools, Frank Schofield. We also have Kevin Chevez, Outreach Executive in Student Leadership, and Benji Porras, Student Body President. And joining us, Milo Steele, Academics Executive. And we'll hear from Milo, as well as more from Kevin, Benji, and Frank on the other side of these headlines with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. A 41-year-old man already convicted of assault and violating a protective order has admitted to abusing and choking a pregnant woman in Benson last month. James Harlan Henderson has been in the Cache County Jail since being arrested back on April 7th. Now, according to court records, Henderson appeared back on May 5th in Logan's 1st District Court, where he accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to 3 counts of aggravated assault, a third-degree felony, and assaulting a pregnant woman, a Class A misdemeanor. Now, according to prosecutors, Cache County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to a trailer that was near 2600 West Valley View Highway on report of a domestic dispute back on April 7th. The victim had said that Henderson had beat her up and choked her. The woman had a bloody, swollen lip and red marks around her neck and face. Now, the woman told deputies that the assault had lasted for several hours until Henderson had gotten tired and fallen asleep, at which point she was able to sneak out of the trailer and call 911. Now, based on court records, Henderson had just been released from jail after pleading guilty to violating a protected order that was amended to a Class A misdemeanor. Now, the previous plea had allowed for his release at the time. Now, in 2023, he was also sentenced to serve 364 days in jail after being convicted on similar assault charges. Now, Henderson is being held without bail now and is scheduled to be sentenced on both cases June 2nd, could face up to more than 5 years in prison. And you heard him on KVNU's For the People show yesterday. Devin Matthews is the one behind a new YouTube channel called Super Ordinary that recently highlighted Logan's Heroes Sandwich Shop. Now, the video has quickly racked up hundreds of thousands of views, and Matthews says it's prompted an outpouring of emotional responses from laughter to tears.
As I started filming, this sort of theme of change started creeping in, not only because I felt like I was going through a big change, but Cache Valley was going through this big change, and, the mall being torn down and all these things. I wasn't planning on having it be this meaningful episode,
Now, since launching the channel, he's released a second episode, this time featuring a multi-day trek into Logan Canyon. Now, his advice to fellow creatives is don't wait.
People are looking for human things right now in a space that's becoming increasingly less human, I guess. Start with what you have, start with where you're at. Let those who are indecisive continue to be indecisive and just be decisive.
Now, episodes of Superordinary are available on YouTube. And a 77-year-old man from Germany died in a fall while hiking at Arches National Park, according to authorities. Now, the National Park Service said the deadly incident happened on Tuesday in a primitive section of the Windows Loop Trail. Now, responding rangers upon arrival found bystanders had already initiated CPR. However, despite their efforts, the man was pronounced dead at the scene. He's been identified as Rudolf Peters from Germany. Well, it's been another gorgeous afternoon, and it's going to remain nice as we head into the overnight hours tonight, as we're going to continue to see clear skies. Temperatures expected to drop into the low 50s overnight. Tomorrow we'll be back into the high 70s, and then even warmer weather coming on Saturday, as we'll hit about 83 to start out the weekend. A chance of showers, though, coming in on Sunday for Mother's Day, and that chance of rain and thunderstorms will continue into the first of next week. And when it comes to taking care of your roof, remember Roof Rescue. From minor repairs to complete roof replacement, it's Roof Rescue that brings you weather as part of the news here at the bottom of the hour. And I'm Will Feelright.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The Catholic Church electing the first American Pope, Robert Prevost, taking the name Leo the 14th. He was born in Chicago, and today Mayor Brandon Johnson called Pope Leo's election a great moment for the city.
It is a true example that everything that is dope about America, everything that is dope about the world, including the Pope, comes from Chicago.
Leo's brother, John Prevost, says he's proud of his brother Francis, but not surprised.
When he was in first grade, a woman across the street that we used to play with the kids, and a woman down the street said he would be the first American Pope in first grade.
President Trump today announcing a trade deal with the United Kingdom that would lower the tariff rate on British auto exports and eliminate it for steel and aluminum. Trump's 10% tariffs on all British products coming into the U.S. remain in place. On social media, the president this afternoon announcing Judge Jeanine Pirro will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. This is ABC News.
Ah, spring. That time of year when you turn up the heat in the morning and the air conditioner in the afternoon. If you're constantly adjusting your thermostat just to stay comfortable, it might be time to talk insulation. You see, today's insulation is superior to what they used to put in homes. Not only does it help regulate the temperature inside, but it can also slash your energy bills. Or maybe you just need to insulate your attic, garage, or a specific room. No problem. Call Cardall's Insulation, 755-5012. That's 755-5012.
Your landscape should be a place to relax, entertain, and spend family time. Canyon Landscaping designs and installs livable landscapes that define space in new or existing yards. Hardscapes with retaining walls, paver and stone patios, and walkways each create privacy, interest, and purpose, plus fire pits and sitting walls to add value to any yard. Go to canyonlandscaping.com for more details, then call to schedule your free consultation. Call 752-3838 or go to canyonlandscaping.com. Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
I'm sorry I'm here for someone else, but it's good to see your face. And I really hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. She was running late for dinner outside.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. It's our spotlight on Logan Schools with Superintendent of the Logan School District, Frank Schofield, in the studio, and students. Well, to be more specific, student leadership. Kevin Chevez, Outreach Executive, Benji Porras, the student body president, and joining us here, Milo Steele, Academics Executive. And Milo, as I understand it, you wanted to complain a little bit because she does listen to Logan City Mayor Holly Danes about some of the construction in Logan today. Go for it. This is your moment. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
I'm kidding. You don't have to complain about it. Welcome, Milo. Tell us, because a lot of people listening are going to be familiar. What does an academics executive do in student leadership?
Okay. Yeah. So my job as the academics executive is to just kind of provide incentives for students for getting good grades or good citizenship. So I'm just trying to motivate kids to go to class, work as hard as they can to get good grades, and then they'll be rewarded for it. So, yeah.
This is the same question I asked Kevin and Benji, but what motivates you to be a part of this? Because it is an additional workload on top of already a lot of required work as a student, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, I've always kind of liked, I kind of put people's needs before my own most of the time. So I just try and do whatever I can to help out my friends or other students who may need it. And I feel like I've always been pretty on top of my grades, so I feel like I fit this position pretty well.
That's very cool.
And yeah.
That is, we joked about it earlier, but where does this serving student leadership, running for these offices repeatedly in some cases, how does this tie in with your actual academic career when you finish high school? Where do you want to go next, and does it connect to being in student leadership?
Yeah, totally. So I feel like obviously being in student government, like it might look good on a resume, or I think it provides a lot of skills that are definitely very beneficial for us in our future. Whether it's like collaboration, like team building stuff, or anything like that. So I plan to go into orthodontics when I'm older.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like this can definitely help me just with a lot of things, like, again, like I said, collaboration or critical thinking or anything like that. So, yeah, that's how it's helped me.
That's very cool. And we can just work clockwise around here. Same question for you, Kevin. Is it, tied directly to your future plans, your college plans, your post-high school plans, whatever it might be?
I think the same, like Milo said, it's taught us a lot of skills. For me, I'm going to be a firefighter, so I think I'll bring my team-making skills and collaboration.
Kind of important there, right, in firefighting?
Yeah, knowing how to work together with like other people, resolving problems and stuff like that. I think I'll bring those skills into that. So hopefully
that's very cool.
Yeah.
That is, remind me to give you Representative Casey Snyder's number before you leave.
Right.
He's got a lot of weight to throw around in that world, and he'd probably actually love to talk to you. And for you, Mr. Student Body President, Benji, I laugh because I think I already know the answer to this one because we joked about it before, but what kind of a career do you see yourself? Are you serious about interested in politics, policy, running for office? That really something you've thought about at your age?
Well, I mean, just recently,
That's cool.
AP government course, and a bit has kind of like, do I want to do this? But then also I'm like, I really don't want to do this because it's too much. So probably not, but I don't know. We'll see.
I get the feeling. I will say this, though. Don't let the current weirdness of politics scare you off, because I think the bubble will burst eventually. And I don't know if it was ever normal, but it will be more normal in the future than it is right now. That's interesting to me, especially at your age, because a lot of people who do have successful careers in politics think about it at your age. And so, yeah, I'm going to write your name down and remember that.
Okay.
Vote against him one day, just to be mean. Oh, I remember him. I'm just kidding. I would vote for you, Benji. This is a really fun conversation to have, because for a lot of people listening, most people are probably not familiar with what student leadership, what the responsibilities are, but and any one of you can take this, whoever wants to answer, but you do, in student leadership, you do actually have responsibilities to your other students or to your peers as well. You have to, there's certain things you have to do, because the overall goal is sort of improving the environment at school, right? Is that a fair way to say it?
Yeah.
Am I leaving anything important out of that?
I think so.
So how do you do that? Do you sit down and have discussions about, without Frank in the room, what's wrong or what needs to be fixed, and then go about addressing it, or is Frank in the room? But no, is that how it happens? Do you sit and talk about where maybe there are some gaps or some issues that could be dealt with, and then you come up with solutions for that?
Yeah.
Everyone's pointing at Milo.
He wants to talk. So yeah. So I feel like we've definitely talked about ways we can improve, like student involvement, like getting them excited to come to games or activities and stuff.
Sure.
So I feel like something that we've definitely stressed this year is just kind of serving as role models. So whether it's going all out for like dressing up for games or activities, or just showing up to all of them, providing incentives for people that do show up. Our main goal is just to get people involved and want to come to our activities with friends or whoever that may be. So
this is, Frank, I know we've got you off a mic right now, but this is important for overall academic achievement as well, right? I just asked him a question because I wanted to see him run around and grab a mic. But for as superintendent and all of the teachers at the school working there with a goal of their own, which is getting everyone out with the best experience they can and the most opportunity for their future they can give them as a teacher, and all of you as administrators as well. And this is a part of it, right? This is a part of improving the overall environment, not just for these 3 specific young men in these positions, but for the student body at large. Can you talk a little bit about that, how you navigate that as an administrator?
Well, first of all, I think I was just sitting here listening to these responses and reflecting a little bit. The last couple shows that we've done, we've brought teachers in, and there's kind of this theme going through. We had our band, band and choir teachers, and they talked about how they use their classes, how we use activities and clubs to help people find a place where they belong.
Sure.
Something they can connect to, something they're passionate about, something that helps them grow and push themselves in their own development. Then we had coaches.
Yeah.
The next show, and we were talking about the same thing, but through athletics, and how being on a member of a team, competing, pushing yourself, how that helps you grow, and again, helps you find a place where you belong. And we talked about how all of those can help bring a student body together. But what we're hearing tonight, and which is cool, is, as Milo just described it, how the students make decisions to come together, and how the students promote that. How do we encourage our peers to let's all go do this together. Let's all go to this game together. Let's go to this dance together. Let's go to this event together, and how that brings people together and forms those connections that we know help people be healthier mentally, more emotionally stable, and improve their learning and their skill development. So I think what we try to do as a district is create flexibility for people to do things. Like there's not a single thing that they've talked about tonight, whether it's not Smart Cookie anymore. What is it for the Smarty Party? Yeah. The Smarty Party is when students with 4.0s get donuts, right? Yeah, so Smarty Party. That's not something where my office or anybody in the district office sent an email and said, hey, you guys really should consider doing this. It's something the students came up with. And then our job is just to say, okay, how can we support that? What can we do with resources, with time, with flexibility, with programming, et cetera. So when students, like our student body officers, find things that will resonate with their peers and really can make the environment better, how can we support them? So it's not a bunch of adults telling the teenagers, hey, why don't you guys go do this thing? It's, what do you guys think we ought to do? How can we make it better? And let's see if there's a way we can support that.
That's unique because I assume that keeps some authenticity to this, so it doesn't feel like a manual. When you're trying to get students excited to be a part of something or go to a game, if it seems manufactured at all, then you're going to maybe roll your eyes and go do something else, right? But
people are generally far less interested in what the 50-year-old guy with white hair in the district office wants them to do.
You know what
than what their peers in the classroom want to do.
That's Frank and I are officially in the Grandpa Simpson shouting at Cloud's age range, but this isn't. So we can move around the table in any order again. But do you all have like a favorite story from this? Something where you just, either really felt like, yeah, this is why I do this. It worked, or a time when you saw an actual positive influence on another student or another group of students' experience. Anything like that you'd like to share?
I have one in mind.
Okay.
So this year for was it Giving Week that we? Okay, yeah.
Wait.
Was that when we got the cans and stuff?
Yeah.
So, so we have every year we have our Giving Week, which is just like where we just try and get donations like food and stuff that we can take to our local food pantry.
And I had the opportunity to actually take all that stuff to the food bank and help unload it. And it was just really awesome to see how much stuff we were able to get and like what a positive impact we could have. And so that just kind of stuck out to me, and I'll just remember that forever. So yeah.
That's very cool. That is for you, Kevin or Benji, stories that you can think of when you thought, this is why I'm doing this.
I guess, I don't know, going back to the thing that I said before, when we decorated for like Winter Week and Beach Week, I guess the outcome and how people liked it was really cool, because we were like not even finished decorating, and people were like walking in and out, and they'd be like, wow, this looks so cool. We also got like a bunch of compliments from like the office ladies saying that like they came into school and they're like, it's so cool looking at like the front lobby being transformed into like this whole other, I don't know, environment. So I guess that kind of makes it like worth, I don't know, even like think about it right now, I think I'm going to miss it, because I don't know, it's a good feeling, It's also so fun, like just like decorating everything with your group of people, inviting other people from your committees to help too. It's fun. So yeah, I think that's what makes it worth it for me.
Very cool. Yeah. And for you, Benji?
So last year, the day of the election, a student came up to me and they were like, I'm so excited. I'm so glad you won, because when it comes to school dances, you're the only person who ever comes up to me and dances and says hi to me. And so
that's very cool.
That just experience of like being able to like support someone, and like this role like requires you to like just be in support of like school activities or like sporting games. And so just like being that support for someone and being able to like see like a smile or like receive feedback is really great. So
that is very cool. I would assume after some time doing this too, you get pretty good at maybe spotting students who are, maybe in that situation, maybe could use just a hello in the hallway once in a while or something. Yeah. That's very cool.
And Jason, to just what you just said about the hallway, one experience that I had just in the last 2 months that I think reflects a little bit of the work that the student body officers do, and Benji's comment kind of ties into it as well. We had a joint training that we did with another school district here in the state, and we were all in the library at Logan High School. And if you've been there, for those who don't know, we have lots of windows, so it's really open, so you can see into the hallways and see students walking around. And from one of the conference rooms in the media center, you can look down and you see the commons area with the students. So you get lots of views of students walking together. And we've had a lot of conversations in the state, and even here as you and I visited, about cell phones and what is the appropriate place for cell phones in schools and all of that. And it was interesting because when the training was over and we were there for a few hours, and as we were ending, one of the other administrators who doesn't work at Logan High School came up to me and said, one of the things that stuck out to me is every passing period, and then as lunch started, I was looking out the windows, and he goes, I was just expecting to see kids glued to their cell phones. He goes, I didn't see anybody with a cell phone out.
Really?
They were all talking to their friends. They were all engaging with people. And now this is not to say that cell phones aren't ever out at Logan High. Of course they are.
No, we did a
present.
great full hour on how they're being used creatively to teach history, and I still think about that.
But what we see is, if you have an environment where people feel noticed, where people feel seen, just like the individual who walked up to Benji and said, you're the only person who ever dances with me. When people feel seen and noticed, they look up and they engage and they connect.
That makes sense.
And when that happens, it starts with just one or two people, and then it's a group, and then it grows and it grows, and then you've got a whole student body connecting. And that's what you see at lunch at Logan High. It's what you see in the hallways at Logan High. But it starts when you have a core group of people who are willing to lead that, and that's what our student body officers do. They start that. And our Hope Squad does it. Our LIA kids do it.
Yeah.
They take that responsibility on, and that helps people feel connected. And we've got a number of just little things that I've seen at Logan High over the years where that just stands out. I'm going to share one that can get a little political in some people, but it's a really cool example.
Oh, that never happens here.
There was an incident, a few years ago, where at another high school in the state, it was a diversity week type activity, and there was a pride flag that got ripped down and thrown on the floor, and lots of problems like that. Our multicultural week, Our diversity week at Logan High was like 2 weeks after that. And I walked into the building, and our students had put up flags from all sorts of countries that represented the backgrounds of the students in our school.
Mm-hmm.
And right in the middle was a pride flag.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was 100% student-driven. But the message that our student body was saying was, you know what, that's not who we are.
Sure.
We recognize we have peers from a variety of backgrounds, and both ethnically, linguistically, religiously, culturally, etc. And we all have things that we like and we agree with and we disagree with one another. But when we're here, we're Logan High School, and that's who we are. And to have that message come out so clearly from our student body as a whole, that tells me a lot about the students that we have and the student leadership that we have at Logan High. And that's reflected in these three gentlemen you got here tonight.
Well, and it's something very apparent too, because and no slight meant towards any of the other high schools, but there is definitely something more to being a Logan High student that you can see whenever you talk to a Logan High graduate. When you talk to them, it's something that they are a Logan High graduate almost before everything else, and I think that speaks a lot to this culture that and it's very cool that students are fostering this as well. And speaking of those students, alongside Frank Schofield, Superintendent of Logan Schools, you just heard from there, we have Kevin Chevez, Outreach Executive in Student Leadership, Benji Porras, Student Body President, and Milo, Steele, Academics Executive, here in the studio with us as well. And we'll be back after this quick break.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
If you have an aging loved one who could use a little extra help, you may wonder how much help is needed. Legacy House of Logan may be what you're looking for. Their different levels of care can accommodate your loved one no matter his or her needs. From daily tasks like dressing and bathing and medical administration to more advanced care for those with dementia. Legacy House of Logan offers all the comforts of home with a caring staff who really know how to take care of your loved ones. We invite you to stop by and see if Legacy House of Logan is right for your loved one on 1400 North in Logan.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
We received the news that nobody wants to hear. Your child has cancer. St. Jude made us feel that everything was gonna be all right.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. We've got just about 4 minutes left here in the hour, so it would be unfair to ask anyone a complicated or complex question, even though I have a lot of them left. But for listeners, again, we have in the studio with us from Logan High Student Body Leadership, Kevin Chevez, Outreach Executive, Benji Porras, Student Body President, and Milo, Steele, Academics Executive, alongside Superintendent of Logan Schools, Frank Schofield. And would anyone like to cap this off at all with any inspiring words, or students maybe that coming up as you leave school that might be interested in student leadership? Any words for them to kind of push them over the edge a little bit, get them involved? You can name names if you want to.
I guess one thing that I would say for like students or parents even is just try and get your kids, or if you're a student, just try and be as involved as you can, whether it's sports or doing our student government positions or whatever it may be, or even just attending dances or sports events or anything like that. Because in my high school career, the things that I'm going to remember most are having fun with my friends at those events.
Really?
And like being a part of student government with Benji and Kevin, like these are my best friends. And so it's just been a really, really fun experience to do it with them. So just get involved.
That is very cool advice, honestly. And this is, an inspiring conversation to be able to sit and listen to. I hope it has been for our listeners as well, because this is, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but at your age, I don't think anyone would really judge you or even think less of you if you were just kind of, you know, breezing through school, doing the bare minimum that was required. What I did, basically. You know, I graduated and I looked good on paper, but I found out what was the bare minimum, and I did that, and I regret that. But you have done the opposite. You're kind of going above and beyond in a way that really not only, I would guess, has taught you leadership skills, but is also sort of spotlighting your leadership skills. And that, I hope you're giving yourselves credit for that to a large extent. And do you, you know, as you're having had this experience, as you either near or even are at the end of your high school career, do you plan to pursue this into higher ed or anything else? You know, being in leadership in other ways, and when it comes to education? Maybe.
Yeah. So there's this thing at Utah State. It's called USASA, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it stands for, but it's like a type of student government thing. And I had the opportunity to kind of meet with some advisors from there and talk with them about some of the fun things that they do. So I think that would be a super fun thing to get involved in, and I think that's what I'll do. So.
That is very cool. For you, Benji or Kevin, do you have, is this something that you plan to maybe pursue beyond high school?
I mean, I liked it in high school. I think it'd be fun to do in in college. I know one girl, her name's Sonia Cardeña. She's like, I'm not sure what she is, but at the U, she's like a big part of student environment. So I think, I don't know, doing something like that would be fun, putting myself out there.
Larger campus?
Yeah.
That, very cool. And for you, Benji?
We'll see. I either won't do it at all, or I'll also probably become student body president at whatever university I attend, so we'll see.
Well, either way.
Yeah.
This is, to all of you, thank you, and Frank for arranging this as well. This is a really, really cool conversation to have the opportunity to have. Again, here in the studio, Kevin Chevez, Outreach Executive, Benji Porras, Student Body President, and Milo.